Abby Wambach was my hero. I think she's the best.
You could tell that the team was fired up behind her.
Abby Wambach is everything for women's soccer.
Rolling with the homies.
You do it.
Copa fam, this is the close-up with Abby Wambach. If you don't know her, you're crazy, but I'm going to go.
This is the close-up. This is the close-up.
I'm going to go through the list because it's too much to actually memorize, I swear to you. Two-time Olympic gold medalist, 2012 FIFA World Player of the Year, World Cup runner-up in 2015, United States leading goal scorer in 2007 and 2011 Women's World Cup tournaments, and the 2004 and 2012 Olympics. Do you know all this stuff?
It's a good list.
184 international goals. The highest all-time international goal scorer for male and female soccer players, two-time best-selling author, activist for equality and inclusion, wife, stepmother, leader of the Wolf Pack, and all-around badass. Welcome, Abby Wambach.
Yay, thank you.
Oh, and we got a live crowd for this, so that's good. We're going to start with the foreword in your book. In the book you say, I have scored more professional goals than anyone in the history of the game. Humble brag. 184 to be exact, but I have never witnessed the ball hit the net. Although my eyes were open and aimed in the right direction, as soon as the leather met rope, the picture went black.
Yeah. I don't know. I think something short circuits in my brain. I think it's like a mixture between complete elation and excitement and happiness and also relief, right? Like my job is to score goals. I took it very seriously and so yeah, I don't know what happens when the ball hits the net. I don't know if I look away. I don't know if just like something just goes black and I can't remember.
You're the youngest of 7.
I think growing up in a big family teaches you a lot, and I was like basically born into being a team member. I feel respect. I gained attention. I think I'm a total attention seeker. And so it kind of just gave me this unique platform for me to develop skills that would affect, and one day I would like sorely need as a player. They all played sports, so I like to tell them that I learned through all of their mistakes. My sister Beth, actually, I think she was 10 or 11. A few of her friends were playing soccer and she wanted to learn, so she came home one day and asked my mom, I want to learn how to play soccer, and my dad had only played football and he ran track and he was a wrestler, I think. So he had no idea. So my mom actually took my sister to the public library and they checked out a book like how to play soccer. And they read the book, and that is how soccer came to be in my family, right?
And how was it being a young girl playing soccer in the U.S.? At a certain point, you had to play with the boys, right?
Yeah, so back in the mid-'80s and late 80s, there were very few, if maybe any, all-girls soccer teams. My first 3 soccer games, it was like little co-ed league teams. I scored like 27 goals. So,
Yeah.
So afterwards, my mom was like, Abby, like, why didn't you want to pass more, right? I'm like 5 years old. She's like, and I basically frankly said to her, I was like, I don't know what the problem is. If the whole point is to beat the other team by scoring more goals and I can do that better than anybody else, like, what's the problem? So she has been since working on my humility and my humbleness. I think it worked.
You were called tomboy, right?
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
section of your book
Yes.
about that word itself.
Yeah, so I think that at first it didn't bother me. At first I was like, wore it like a badge of honor, like, oh, like I'm a girl that can fit in with these boys. It's a hard thing because when you're the only one, it's harder to constantly fight those battles and constantly stand up for yourself or stick up for women, all women, right? Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to have to be the police all the time when you're 14 or 15 years old. So that's why I decided to go back and play with the girls. But I do think that it offered me a unique perspective playing on the boys' team because it made me understand how truly segregated in ways we can be in our minds.
Let's talk about the 99ers.
For people my age, the 99ers are the quintessential example of women's soccer. That was the team. And Abby bridged that gap for the generation today.
The 99ers win the World Cup. What kind of moment was that for soccer
Huge.
in America?
It was everything. I think it probably still goes down as one of the most iconic moments for women's sports and possibly one of the most iconic moments for women's rights. For women to get that kind of stage on and have the kind of attention that it was given by all of the media. That moment was so important. Underneath, like, the cover of winning, what you see is a group of women who have railed against social norms of what it means, like what generally and stereotypically it means to be a woman. You have these women who lift weights and like are proud of their muscles and are proud of their physical prowess and are proud of their athleticism. You have women that are proud of their femininity and want to like showcase it on the grandest stage and put themselves out there on a limb and do it together and unite. And so, you know, for me, it's so inspiring watching these women because it reminds me of what freedom looks like. It's women going out there fighting for each other, fighting for something bigger, fighting for something that might not ever even affect them. I find it to be so inspiring. 99 being kind of one of those huge moments in my mind. I mean, I sat watching that game and I said it in such a silly way then, but now I understand it to be a little bit more serious. It's like, I want to do that. Like, that looks fun.
You make your debut in 2001. You score your first goal against Finland in your first start.
Yeah, so the ball's coming in on my left side, which I'm a little bit more left dominant than my right. And I had no idea I was going to be able to take such a solid touch that would give me an opportunity to actually finish the ball. I think it was a little bit luck, you know, I'm just being quite honest.
We can cut that part.
I just knew, you know, this is like my first start for the national team, and I knew that I needed to like make an impact. And the impact that I knew I needed to make was scoring goals. The first game I ever dressed was against Germany. And I remember just being like, I hope nobody puts me in this game. I hope the coach doesn't put me. I was so nervous. Yeah. And 25 minutes left to play. April, our coach, was like, Abby, go warm up. And I was like, oh no, this is really terrible.
You all of a sudden forget what to do.
Yeah. So like the whole idea of like fake it until you make it, that's all I was telling myself. And this is like 2 years after the 99 World Cup team wins. So Mia is my teammate. Like, I watched them do it, and now Mia is not only my teammate, she is my line mate. Like, I'm playing next to her. So I get subbed in, and Mia ends up yelling at me for like 18 straight minutes because I literally think I forgot how to play soccer. It's just like running around, putting myself in terrible positions. So when I got the opportunity to start against Finland and score this goal, I think I was a little bit more calmed down.
So you go into 2003, right? Next World Cup after the 99ers, a few days before the tournament starts, the league in the US folds.
Yeah, that was a bummer. That's what the national team does. It's like, all right, here we know all of the cameras are on us, all of the people's attention will be on us. 99 was such a big deal, like this is gonna be equally as big, we're gonna go all in. And if we let people know that this league is folded, then after we win this World Cup, something will fill its place, right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that World Cup didn't work out. We got knocked out of that one game before the final, which I think for sure on some level affected the popularity of the team, and it also affected any kind of excitement that could have been generated to create a new league.
You're saying here, you forced yourself to stay on the field, watching my teammates cry while the Germans celebrate, climbing on each other's backs, chanting words I can't understand. I feel an arm drop across my shoulders and hear the coach say, come on, let's go inside. And you said no. I tell her, my eyes fixed on the German team. I want to remember this.
You know, I learned this valuable lesson when I was 16 years old. I was on the U16 national team, and we were training at the Olympic Training Center. So our U16 national team was able to tour the women's national team, senior women's locker room. So I found myself, of course, like I'm the kid who's touching everything, like all the dirty cleats, like I'm touching all of the lockers. You know, there's like Mia Hamm stuff like right there. How can I not touch it, you know? But what amazed me about this experience is that right next to the door that would lead them out to training, to the pitch for training every day, there was this picture. And you might think it was like their last win or their last championship or something. But it was actually the year before the Norwegian national team's obnoxious celebration after they had just knocked the USA out of the '95 World Cup. And I thought, that's weird. I was 16 years old. I was like, that's weird. Why would they want to remember this terrible moment? And it was the first time I had ever learned this concept of, making failure fuel, of like flipping that around and going, that's actually something that we should be promoting and remembering so that we don't ever get back here. Going through the hard time here is what creates all like the fire for you to get over there.
Amazing.
So yeah, that day after the 2003 Germany game was hard, but seared into my memory.
A year later, Olympics, finals, you score the winner in the gold medal match to win your first gold. Wow.
Oh God, that one.
What a goal. Your eyes are open when you're heading it.
I've done like the sports science show where they've taken me through like the slow-mo and my eyes do close, but just very quickly. I don't know, this moment was big. I knew that Mia and some of the women were gonna retire after this tournament. And I also felt a heavy responsibility for the previous year's loss, because my mark scored in that Germany game on the corner kick that led to that was the game-winning goal for them. So I just remember working extra hard that training camp before this Olympics, like never again will that happen. And here this goal was, and Julie, I remember right before the corner was taken, Julie Foudy, she was just like, Abigail, this is it. In like her captain-y way, and I was like, okay, it is it. I mean, come on, like when you find yourself on the other end of scoring the goal that wins your team the Olympic final, you get a gold medal, like, are you serious? Like, can it ever get better?
How'd you get that much power behind it?
I don't know. I think that one had a little bit of like soccer god in it. I hit it square. I just remember that mark. She had my number the whole game, and this one kick, it just like happened to go right over her head, and so it just like hit me perfectly square. So I didn't actually need to get tons of power on it.
Did you used to work on that in training a lot?
Heading?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my thing.
Yeah, constantly. That was just like, forget the feet.
I think actually.
Yeah.
I mean, there would be some practices where I would just head the ball.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it was my thing. I think I scored over 70 goals internationally with my head.
77.
Oh, you even know the number.
Saying, you know.
You've had some highs and some lows at that point in terms of results, but then going into 2008, broken leg. And then moving on from there, you bounce back from that. Obviously a rough period, but then we have what's titled the header heard round the world in 2011.
120th minute.
When Megan Rapinoe crossed it over, and it was like at the dying breath of the game.
Just the drama of that, like how late you got to leave it, and she was still like, nope, we're going to win this game. I will make sure of it. That was Abby Wambach.
Yeah, that's one that whenever I'm feeling bad about myself, I just put on. And whenever my kids start to like be obnoxious and like kind of give me, crap, I'm like, put on the goal.
Give us the background on this goal and why it was so significant.
Yeah, so we were down a man and down a goal in, this is the quarterfinals against Brazil. We had been playing down a man for, I think at this point it was 60 minutes. And then in the first extra time, Marta scores this ridiculous goal. She just flicks it and it goes off the back post and in. So now we're losing in extra time 2-1.
Yep.
And then the reason why we were actually able to get so much time in this second extra time is because there was one woman who went down and was faking an injury. And I was like in the referee's ear, I'm like, she's faking it! And I'm like, you need to add time, add time. I'm like this, I'm like, you need to add time. They finally get her off the field, and she jumps off of the stretcher and then sprints all the way to the midfield to get subbed back on. Because of that, the referee gave us 2.5-3 minutes of extra time, which, as you know, is like super rare. And we were able to score with like 40 seconds left in the game.
It was voted greatest ever Women's World Cup goal.
Wow.
Is it your favorite goal?
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, I think in terms of impact, I think that goal had a big impact, not just on the game, but like my personal life and my personal career. I think things from that point on kind of changed.
And then you go on to play Japan.
Yeah.
and you fall to Japan in the final. You put the U.S. up 2-1 in extra time.
Yep.
Did you think that you guys had won the game at that point?
Yes. Like, probably Brazil thought, you know, the few games before. And what people also don't understand about the final is we had to go, in that Brazil game, we had to go into penalties to win that game. So when you go into a penalty kick shootout before the final, and then you go into a penalty kick shootout in the final, they know who and what they're doing, right? So the goalkeeper, it was just a total mind freak. But yeah, I scored in overtime, and in a matter of like 3 minutes, I'm going from probably winning the best player of the tournament to coming in second place in everything, ever. I was so sad.
You said though about you thought that their country needed the win.
They did.
Ours.
I mean, they were just getting over the tsunami that happened, and there is probably no other country in the world that respects the game and the players more than the Japanese women team. They're special people, and that day was just their day. You know, finals are tricky. Finals, the best team sometimes doesn't win. People don't understand winning championships. You need a little bit of luck on your side. Like, the wind needs to blow in your direction.
2012 comes, another decent year for you. 2012 FIFA Women's World Player of the Year. And you had said that there haven't been many times in my life where I've been completely speechless, but I'm really having trouble finding the right words. Honestly, when Hope Solo said my name, I thought she'd made a mistake. I was sure that Alex Morgan would win.
Mm-hmm. Individual awards are the weirdest things in team sports. And also, like, naming one person best player in the world for whatever reason it's so arbitrary, like, because people are so different, and like our skill sets are so different, and like what makes one person more, it's because they just got more votes. And so often in the women's,
or strikers or defenders.
Exactly, because they got more goals. Like that, like it's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, it has nothing to do with our actual soccer prowess. So this year, for me to have gotten enough votes, it just felt really surreal. And because, you know, Hope was my teammate, I thought, did she just lie? Like, how funny would this be? Like Abby Wambach.
It's happened in the Oscars now.
Exactly, right? Like, they say the wrong name. I think that year was a special year. We won the gold medal, which is really all I was caring about.
You go through personal awards, now it's the biggest team moment, 2015, but your role has shifted a little bit. It becomes more of leading from the bench.
First of all, it sucked. Like, let's get this out of the way first. Like, for everybody out there who experiences a benching, it's okay to be disappointed. But what is not okay is to miss your opportunity to lead from that bench, right? Or to turn it into a new possibility, a new perspective, something that you still can gain something from. The only reason why I was still playing at this point, I'm 35 years old, I'm well past my prime. The only reason why I'm still playing is to win a World Cup. That's the one thing I haven't been able to do. So I just became the best bench player that ever was, because, I mean, honestly, because it gave me an opportunity to actually really practice what I've preached for the previous 15 years of my life, like 14 years of my career, that everybody matters. And when you're on the field, you say that a lot. Every person matters, right? But now I was like, okay, I actually have to put that talk into action right now. And not that I think that I was contributing to the success of the players on the field, but I know that I did everything I possibly could to make them as confident as they could be, to do the things on the field. So when I did get in to like close games out, I felt good. And though it was hard, playing from the bench and leading from the bench that tournament taught me things about leadership that I had yet to learn. You know, if you call yourself a leader on the field, but not on the bench, you're not a leader. You know, if you're a leader everywhere.
Yeah. Hey guys, Heather O'Reilly here. If I had to describe Abby Wambach as a player, I'd say that she's a beast. She was bold, she was brave, she was fearless, a hell of a goal scorer, and a hell of a teammate. As a person, I'd say that she's truly one of a kind. She's very special. There's nobody out there like Abby. We know but the gals did it.
The gals.
Without sticking together and leaning on each other, we wouldn't have won that thing.
That's so good. It's so true.
Talking about leadership, can you tell us about the Obama selfie?
Yeah, so right before we get to meet President Obama, we get briefed, and the number one thing is do not ask for a picture. If you ask him for a picture, we will remove you. So as he was stepping off the stage, he turns and throws all of us under the bus. He said, because there was a bunch of people in the audience, he said, I'm sure the team would love to sign all the autographs for you folks. And I was like, what? I'm like, that is not our protocol. So I was like, Mr. President, can we have a selfie with you? And so I asked him, and he was like, okay. And so he came back, and when I was taking the selfie, I had to decide, I had to make a split decision. Should I cut off the back row or my face? And I thought, what would a leader do? So I was like, just tilt it, and I got all of our staff actually is in the back row, so it was important for them. But you know, the hair, my hair.
So that's not the last time you heard or saw Obama. He tweeted you when you retired.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny story. So I was, of course, like, wow, like amazing. But he wrote "goat" right at the end. So I texted my agent and I was like, it's kind of like weird that he said "goat" to me, right? And my agent was like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, why does he think that I'm a goat? Like, it doesn't. This is a true story.
No.
Abby, he was like, Abby, the Muhammad Ali, like, greatest of all time. It's an acronym. I was like, I see. I was like,
You thought he was
I don't know.
trolling
I thought
you?
it was like a backwards, like backhanded, like compliment. I don't know. So now I know what goat means.
Yeah.
When I got the call, or actually it was an email to deliver the commencement speech at Barnard in 2018, I wanted it to be really good because also I never have graduated from college. So when I did actually get a chance to do this and it went viral, I knew it was good. I didn't know it was that good.
Like all little girls, I was taught to be grateful. I was taught to keep my head down, stay on the path, and get my job done. I was freaking Little Red Riding Hood. Little Red Riding Hood heads off to the woods and is given strict instructions. Stay on the path. Don't talk to anybody. Keep your head down, hidden underneath your Handmaid's Tale cape. And she does, at first. But then she dares to get a little curious, and she ventures off the path. That's, of course, when she encounters the big bad wolf, and all hell breaks loose. The message is clear. Don't be curious. Don't make trouble. Don't say too much, or bad things will happen. I stayed on the path out of fear, not of being eaten by a wolf, but of being cut, being benched, losing my paycheck. If I could go back and tell my younger self one thing, it would be this. Abby, you were never Little Red Riding Hood. You were always the wolf.
Tell us about the Wolfpack.
So the speech turned into a book, and I went on a book tour like many authors get to do, which is no fun, let me tell you. It's so hard. Like, this book has been really special because I now know what I believe. I now know how I came to believe it, which gives me more education about what I want to see change. So it's been a lovely couple months since the book came out.
Any more books coming?
No, after my first book, I was like, never again.
Okay.
After my second book, I was like, no, seriously, never again. Writing books is not like the thing I love to do, but I don't know why people keep paying me to do it.
Yeah, so when's the third book?
Yeah, so I don't know, we'll see. I really am passionate about women's rights, and for whatever reason, I'm obsessed with corporate culture because it feels so gross and weird and dirty and dark and stale. But there's so much about sports that's the same in the corporate world. And so my goal is to change the corporate structures and the way that leadership views who can lead certain companies.
Well, thank you, Abby, for joining us.
Thanks for
Absolute
having me,
legend. Thank you, Chelcee. Thank you, everyone, for coming. That is the close-up with Abby Wambach.
I think she's just the best that she can be.
It's inspirational to so many people.
I truly miss her playing the game every day.
Love her. Abby, you're the best.